Hi guys, in this episode of the Nostalgia Trip, I'm gonna be continuing with my reactions to Rise of the TMNT with Season 1, Episode 2A, Origami Tsunami. And I say Episode 2A because like I've said, I think in the first episode reaction, this show's episodes are a little bit different from any other of the TMNT shows that I've covered on the channel, in the sense that instead of having 24-minute long episodes, or 20-minute long episodes, should I say. Instead, the episodes are more or less about 10, 11, 12 minutes long episodes, in essentially 2 episodes per what would have otherwise been an episode. And for whatever stupid reason, whoever was in charge of deciding what order to release the episodes or to make the episodes of this show, I guess maybe they got drunk or didn't pay enough attention, because it's just fucking nonsensical. Because there's like 5 different ways and orders in which the episodes should be watched. Or at least in the ways that they're listed. Because the Wikipedia page lists the episodes in one order. Then there's the Wikia page, which lists the episodes in the correct order, I think, that you're supposed to watch, like the chronological order. And then there's the order in which the episodes are shown on the places where you can actually watch them online, whether it's through proper means or improper means, if you get what I mean. The first episode, as much problems as I might have with it in some ways, it's actually not bad. Like, sure, it's still much more comedic and less plot reliant than even the 2012 series, but it's still good. It still has great action. It has a decently interesting plot, even if it's still very comedic and it doesn't feel like it's... It feels like it's a very... aimed at a very young audience. It was still a good episode. But then the other episodes, which are Donnie's Gibson Morbid that I've seen, they're not bad. They're entertaining, but they definitely feel like just random bullshit that I don't give a shit about. They just feel like filler. Because it's just random shit that keeps happening and not an actual ongoing plot. And from what I've heard, this show does get better in that regard, apparently. But it is going to be a couple of more episodes before we get to there, and definitely it's going to be better in the second season. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully this episode is going to be a little bit better than some of the other ones, because for those episodes, the only thing that I really get to enjoy the most of is just the jokes. Because, like, I don't really think we have enough time to really build up an exciting action sequences. Sure, we might have, like, an exciting moment, action moment here and there that is still entertaining, but it's not really as impactful as it should have been or would have been if they did it in a 20-minute episode, kind of thing. But yeah, also before we get into the reaction, I do want to remind you that you can get a full-length version of these reactions over on my Patreon and Ko-fi account, where by subscribing to the specific tier I've created for it, you get access to all of my cartoon full-length reactions. And alternatively, you can go at the higher tier, which will also give you access to the full-length reactions for the live-action TV shows that I cover on the channel, and the movies that I cover on the channel that are not connected to any of the existing series. Because those movies will still be at the lower tier. And yeah, I think that's all the stuff that I have to cover. So without further ado, let's get into Origami Tsunami in 3, 2, 1.
Where's our free grub doodle man?
Yeah, okay. How about some hot?
Oh, so that's where his catchphrase comes from, huh?
Everyone's a critic.
And teriyaki shakedown always.
And also already foreshadowing, huh?
That's nice of you to say.
Man, I think this version of Splinter really reminds me of Uncle Iroh from Avatar.
We got the squills, we got the tight color
So,
coordinated team.
it's like because he already has a lot of similarities between those two characters, to the point where even I think the voice actor for Iroh played him in the 2007 TMNT movie. But here,
Okay, what's the plan?
he seems so close to that, because just like Iroh, he seems like very dumb, like an old dumb fat guy, but then he turns out to actually be a real badass.
That's exactly the kind of junior level mischief we can put an end to.
Really? That'll make us heroes? But it's only paper.
It's only paper. I'm so sorry. Donnie, what did he just say? Did he say it's only paper? Yep. Did he say it's only paper?
Yes, he did.
Okay, that's what they all say. You think the road to Hero Town is paved with real crime? No! It's paved with the tears of the poor paper men. And who helps that guy? I'll tell you. We are who.
Ooh, I think I know what might be the thumbnail for this one.
This seemed like a really cool idea until we didn't succeed at it.
Whoa. Where'd my brothers go? Mikey, where's your legendary optimism? Raph, where's your go-getter attitude? And Donnie, where's your emotionless passion?
Here.
We can still catch these lame old paper crooks and be heroes.
You know, considering the fact that Raph is supposed to be the leader, Leo is really acting as the actual leader.
Or was it?
Yeah, I literally just said that.
Dude, that was a really cool looking shot. I might actually keep that for like a review later on, and probably will not be using it as the thumbnail for this, but that looks really cool.
What is... She's supposed to say... Paper.
Away.
April, the salami paper. It's gone.
Now what we are gonna eat for dinner? Dude, you have a teleporting sword. Just teleport to the truck.
Are those flames on their heads?
Feels like a real hazard for.
Is that the Foot Clan?
You, I'm gonna grind your bones with my fists.
Ooh, that's inspired. We're both gonna grind your bones.
Right. Listen, Bugs, before we put our footprints on your faces, we gotta ask, what's with all the paper?
We're getting nowhere fighting these guys. We gotta take out the source. Okay, you think you're pretty good, huh?
Indeed.
Wait, where did your sword go?
Hero Town? Population? Me.
Woo! Oh, that was a cool shot. That was sick.
And what are we looking at?
What is that? Don't
No.
do it.
No.
Don't do it.
No.
Don't do it. Raph?
No. Look at me. No. No.
Oh man, I love Donnie.
Second rule.
So, does this count as a win?
Well, I don't know.
Honestly, out of these characters for the Turtles, the only one that is kind of weak is just Mikey. I love Leo, I love Donnie, he's so funny. Raph is also pretty good as well, but Mike is just bland. Okay, so that was Origami Tsunami. There isn't really anything about this episode in particular that makes it feel less, like there isn't any continuity that feels like it's kind of out of whack considering I watched this episode after the second part of this second episode of this show, but it fits either way. I guess the only thing that makes it feel more like a second episode is that in the first episode we get like an introduction to the Turtles, and in this second episode we get a little bit of like a, I wouldn't say it focus on Splinter, but kind of like a spotlight moment, I guess, in the beginning with like some foreshadowing. That kind of made it feel a little bit more like a second episode. Okay, so let's get a proper introduction to this character actually and show him off a little bit more. And that's something that I actually liked. There's a lot of really cool visuals with this show. In this episode in particular, I really liked a lot of the visuals. The action scenes, pretty good, but just too short. Like the pacing of that is just way too short. We don't really have enough time to build it up, have it stay, and then for everything to drop. Like, it's just too fucking fast-paced for me to really be able to truly enjoy it. But it's okay. Like, this definitely feels a little bit more like the first episode, so I enjoyed it in that regard at least. It felt like maybe it's kind of setting up future stuff, because I assume these two were the Foot Clan or part of it because of that foot thing on their face. It's kind of a dead giveaway, but whatever. But yeah, honestly, not a bad episode. So far for the show, I would put it definitely as the second best out of the episodes that I've seen. That is, but yeah, in terms of a rating, and again, you gotta keep in mind that my ratings for this show are only in relation to this show. Like, you cannot compare my ratings for these episodes to any of the ratings that I've given for the other shows that I cover, or for the other TMNT shows that I've covered. So, in relation to this show, I think I'd probably give it something like an 8.4 out of 10. It was actually pretty enjoyable, considering this show. It was definitely the most enjoyable episode after the first one. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get more episodes like this one. But yeah, what did you guys think about this episode? Comment your thoughts down below and let's have a discussion about it. And also, before we end this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to my currently 2 patrons on Patreon, Deadpool and August Dice. Thank you guys for your support. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. You have decided to support me. You have continued to support me for such a long time. Hope you continue to enjoy my content and continue to support me going forward. Thank you very much. And now, before we end this video, I just want to talk about something to you guys very quickly, which some of you may or may have not noticed before or know about me, that being the fact that I am trans. And yes, this may come as shocking to some of you, because I don't really flaunt it that much on my channel, or at least I feel like I don't. Outside of like my K-pop reactions, which is where I feel like the most comfortable being myself like this. And yeah, I am in fact trans. I'm not necessarily full-on male to female, but I heavily want to transition to being pretty female. I do consider myself more non-binary though, or maybe gender fluid would be the best descriptor as well, because I do have occasional moments where I feel fine being like just a normal guy, but most of the time, like right now, I do feel very dysphoric. And that's why I'm asking you guys for any help that you can give me, because my situation right now, I don't really see any way outside of you guys' help. Because, and this is gonna be kept short and concise, I live with my parents. They're never going to accept me as a trans person. They just never will. And as a matter of fact, back when I started the YouTube channel, I was actually kind of slightly starting my transition back then, with like starting to grow out my hair. I even got to DIY HRT, but because my parents started noticing certain things, like my behavior had changed a lot and my clothes had changed a lot, I kind of had to stop doing that, because they were constantly nagging me about cutting my hair, and just started to kind of be threatening in a certain way, and felt like they were ashamed of me and everything. And that just kind of stress just tired me out to the point where I just gave up. But as dysphoria goes, it just doesn't go away, you know. I still feel like this, and in fact it's somewhat been intensifying again recently, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. And again, I would really appreciate any amount of support you can give me in regards to this, because I just don't see any way out of this. Because even if I moved out of my parents' house and got myself a job and everything, that's just not gonna work for long-term planning, because once I transition, it's like I probably will not be able to get myself a job, because my country is very transphobic. Nobody gives a shit about LGBT people at all. So there's not even much I can do even in terms of transitioning here. So yeah, I don't know. I just would appreciate any amount of support you can give me, be it monetarily or in any way
otherwise. And this is not about boosting my channel or anything, or guilt tripping you with my sob story. I just wanted to get this off my chest and make my subscribers aware of the situation that I am in, and that I would appreciate anything that you guys can help me out with. It would mean literally everything. Like, for example, a friend that I made after starting this YouTube channel, my good friend Yuri, has been helping me out a lot. And I genuinely might have not been here if it wasn't for him showing up and befriending me. So yeah, this just went a little bit longer than I intended, but I would just really appreciate anything you can support me with. That's kind of ultimately what I'm trying to say.
And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, check out the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me over there, and to my Wattpad or post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories or simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to my Patreon or to my Coffee account, where you can pledge support and help get the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think it's pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!